Goes up quick and easy. Put two 16s on the bottom, between the bottom plate and the concrete. Set them on there. One nail in the corner to pivot off of. Level on the other edge. Level it up. Plumb it up, I should say. Drive a nail in. That's preliminary nailing only, you know, to get it up there. And then I still have to do finish nail on it. It's lots of nails. How you doing, everybody? Randy Richard in the shop, and today the trusses are here, and we have them all stacked up here against the front of the building. We have them in the order they need to go up, starting in the back and working forward. So the first one that goes up is the one that's going to be against the building. That's right here in the front. Now this is a kind of a special kind of truss, gable end. It's a structural gable end truss because it won't have a wall underneath it to support it. So it's going to sit on top of the new walls and then just be flat up against the existing building, and we'll nail it for temporary, right, to get it in position, and then I'm going to lag screw it against the wall. But the structural load will be from the truss itself, carrying the load. Now we have a 60-pound snow load for calculation here. So it used to be 50 pounds. Now we get less snow and they raised it to 60 pounds. Who knows why? I don't understand. Anyway, it just makes it cost more, that's all. We'll swing it around, show you what I'm doing to get them on top of the building. And now, the heaviest one we're going to lift up first, and it doesn't even weigh 200 pounds. And we just kind of estimated it, but we figure it's under 200 pounds. So it's really not very heavy. But then we'll do the heaviest one first. There's the tractor, right? And I have my forks on there. You can see those are a set of forks I have. Quickly, you just detach the bucket and slip on the forks attachment. I love that thing. I did a bunch of work for a friend, and my payment was his set of forks he didn't want, he didn't use. They're brand new. So I got those dirt cheap. Anyway, so you'll see on here what I did is I built a boom from the black part all the way up here to the tip, right? And I'll get you a little closer to show you what I did. Now remember, this is built from scrap that I had in my pile, and it's designed around not having to lift up something very heavy. I don't think I'd want to try to lift up anything more than 500 pounds with this thing at all. So we'll be plenty under it. Now, yes, I've already tested it. I've already picked this truss up, set it on top of the building, and zero problems. And I put it back down again because I need help getting the truss in place. So I have a friend coming and my wife, and we're going to get this one truss today in, and then we'll decide when I'm going to do the rest, maybe with some more help or not. We'll see how we do it with three of us. So here's the boom. This black part here is a 4-inch tube, steel tube, built from an old satellite dish, you know, one of those large 8-foot satellite dish antenna bases. This is 2-inch pipe with let's see here. I'm trying to point here with a right there, elbow and a nipple welded on. At the top here, at this attachment point, there's a piece of square tubing welded to the pipe and a bolt through it. Here, 5/8 bolt. And then we come out here. Now the pipe is about 8 feet long, and on the tip, I'm terrible at pointing, huh? Anyway, up at the tip, I have a hook and a shackle and a strap, and that's about it. Now, almost no flex really in the pipe, so when I pick things up, and this just slips on. I made this so it slips onto the fork in the back down here. I have a clamps on, and then we have a little slip-in pocket here where the tip goes. And very secure, no movement, works peachy. Trusses came the day after I got back from fishing. We got them here and we got them on the roof. You should be able to see that, the tails at least. We'll walk around the front. So things are going really well. We still have some more sheeting out here to finish up on the wall, but also all the way up the gable end here we'll have to have sheeting to the top, right? And then we have some little bit of sheeting we'll have to do on the back on the difference in roof height. We'll try to get the sheeting done today. That's my plan. Oops. And inside here you can see the trusses. Sunlight is really bad. Well, sunlight's good, but today's a little cool, windy day actually. So we'll have the trusses here. We'll be putting in, but to get all the bracing in for the trusses, we'll be using just 1x4 for that to steady them up and secure them. I've got all the blocking in along the top plate, and then we'll be, after that, after the bracing and the sheeting is all done, I have outriggers to add for the eaves, and then I'll cut the tails on the trusses, and then we'll be able to, then we'll get it going on the sheeting. Well, all these tails, they're all a little bit too long for what I want, so I'm going to cut all have to cut all these nice and straight. And we'll have blocking to put in here because I'll be closing off these soffits. You know, this is a soffit. I don't know if you know what a soffit is, but anyway, this is a soffit in here. And how I've closed these off. This is great because it really helps reduce your fire hazard having a closed soffit. So you don't have places for the embers to get if there was a fire. So I'll be closing off the soffit on this addition also. So you got to put blocking in to support all that. All the sheeting's all up and nailed off. So it's going really well, going right along. By the end of probably next week, and should have all the sheeting up. I'll get my son back over to help. My son came, and my friend from down the street, John. Yeah, they came and helped me get all the trusses up. That was extremely helpful. You know, that's a more than one man job, but so I had some good help, and we got them all up real quick. And other than that, and I have one of the windows cut in right there. One window there, and I still have to cut this window in. So by the end of next week, all this should be done. All the rough framing is my plan to have done so I can get an inspection. And then after that, we'll be roofing. And I'm trying to find roofing that I want. And my wife would like to rather see a green roof. We have a green shingle, comp shingle roof on the shop, and she'd like to see green again. I'm going to put comp back on. So it held up good for 30-something years. So we'll go back with comp and all that. So thanks, you guys. Okay, so today it's been really hot, and getting quite a bit done though still. So the trusses are all up and braced and blocked and all that good stuff. Now you'll see some 1x4 here that run across. Those are just temporary, just to steady up and the spacing. As we put the sheeting on, we'll remove those. And sometimes you got to flex them around a little bit, but these really came out good, so I don't think we'll have to flex them too much as far as for the joints and such. But what I've done today is I got those outriggers in over on that end already. That's all done, and right now I'm putting the outriggers in on the front out here. So I've got these 3 done on this side, and still have that side to get over there too. I don't know if I'll get that. I don't know if I'll get it done today though. We'll see. Anyway, so putting these outriggers in, it's a really pretty simple process. I've marked them out. I put in 2x6s for them instead of 2x4s. A lot of people use 2x4s. And I put it at the spacing and the joints for the sheeting. And this has really worked out well as far as how strong they are, especially for snow load. And I've never had a problem on the rest of the shop, and so it works out good. We'll have a barge rafter hanging out here when that comes in, and fascia board on the tails of the trusses. Yeah, so we're just cutting a notch in here, so this is flush across the top, nailed in at the first truss, and nailed in on the gable end. That's about it. And now these are a little long right here. So once I get them all in, I'll chalk line it. I'll chalk line where I'm going to cut, so they're all straight and parallel to the wall, and be good. We're up here on top of the scaffold. Kind of a long ways up, but boy, scaffold is nice to have. So there's Roscoe, the shop dog, the continuous supervisor on the job, watching every move. Every move. He is alert and ready to go. So he's always watching. And here's the aerial view from down into the shop, which will be a little harder to shoot here pretty soon. So yeah, so thanks you guys. So here's a quick look at how I notch this. So right here, I've cut the notch. Now I've marked it out, and I just cut it with a skill saw, and then every 1/4 inch I cut it with a skill saw. I've set the skill saw to depth, to an approximate depth, but not too deep. If it's anything, it's too shallow. I cut it, so I cut that out, whack it with a hammer, break all this out. Then I take an old horseshoe and rasp. These are excellent. If you know a horseshoer or contact a horseshoer, he'll have a pile of these. And when it's dull for a horseshoer, it's perfect for woodworking. It's knocked some of the sharpness out of it. Otherwise, it's too grabby. This one is still, and usually they're still very sharp. Okay, I'm not saying that they're dull or any really dull, but usually they're still very sharp. This one's from a horseshoer, but when they get dull, like I said, for a horseshoeing, they have to be razor sharp, and so they get dull kind of fast, actually. But yeah, and then I rasp this out a little bit just to clean it up, and sometimes I have to fine tune the edge a little bit, but this one no, and you'll get a perfect fit. So as you can see here, we'll just slip the board in, and it's just a real nice fit in there. And we will get it in there. Now having to do this one-handed is kind of tough. We'll butt it up over here and nail it to the first truss. Pretty simple.